Okay, this is just a quick run through of what I've got on my KAWAI 100F sample pack. I've got some effects, one-shot effects really, some single hits. Then I've got the raw Sawtooth and the raw Square. I've got them in octaves, you don't really need them on every key. Then I've got a Sawtooth bass, which is a bass with a little envelope on it, so I need it on every key. Again with the Square bass. These are basically the sounds I use on this all the time. Then we've got a weird FM bass to give a flavour of that. Some long Sawtooth and Square sweeps in octaves again, but altogether it really does give a nice flavour of what we've got there. Some FM basses, and then I have put together some Logic ESX sampler programs, but not for absolutely everything, because you might want to set up your own in different ways. And apologies, I've not got it in Ableton or other formats because, well, I haven't got them, so I can't really do them, but they're really quite simple to set up, and I'll show you what I've done. Down here are the simple single sample programs for the resonant interval and the house organ. So coming over to Logic then, let's just start playing a few. So this is the raw Square. Let's just open the sampler so you can see what's happening. So, sampled in octaves. And I've done them quite long so you can make pads with them, which I'll show in a second. Raw Sawtooth, open the sampler program here. Again, sampled in octaves. Really nice. Such a nice, clear, crisp tone, this. Go up a couple more octaves. And if you hold these on for a while, you can actually hear weirdness happening on some of them. But again, I've done them really long. They tend to sort of go a little bit odd and have a little blips in them a little bit later on in the sample when the synth's getting a bit tired. But there is, you hear that little click there, there is some movement in them, so they are really, you hear it again there, they are really nice actually. They don't sound like soft synths. And then just to show you, you can just take them because they're so long and spread them across the whole of your keyboard because they really are long samples. So you can hear some fuzzy little things happening in that. So this is just one sample spread across the whole synth. And down lower. So you can do that when you've got something really as simple as a single wave. Now these are nice, these are the type of bass sounds I use on it all the time. So you can see I've sampled this for a few octaves. And that's so that you can keep that envelope snappy across everything. So it's got the same timing on the envelope on every key. Really, really punches through a mix, this. Even that low. And I've got that on the Square as well. To open the Square, just to show you. Up a couple of octaves. And I know these are really simple sounds, but that's what works really well on this KAWAI. Now, here we go into something a bit cooler. I've put this into Logic Sampler. Apologies for not doing it in others. But what I've got in here, if we come down, I've got two groups, so it's basically two oscillators. Slightly detuning one of the groups by 5 cents. And that gives me a nice little polysynth. But that again has got a really nice crisp tone to it. So I've got a couple of other polysynth style things in here as well. That's one of my favourite type of tones from a Prophet 5. Beautiful, no effects on this whatsoever. And then a fifth. Turn up a bit. A little bit distorted there. That's why I turn these down when they're in a poly mode. Oh, 10 seconds is perhaps a little bit long. So take these, play with them and create your own little synths using samplers. It's great fun. So this is a soft FM bass, so this has been made with FM on the filter. And I've sampled this chromatically because it slightly changes on every key. You can look at the waveform down here. You can see it's changing slightly, doing weird things on some of them. But I like this sort of tone. Got nice movement in there. This one. Yeah, just a nice mad FM tone. If you throw some effects on these, they sound amazing. I've got one here, I think, with effects on it. Is this it or not? That's the same one. Weird FM bass. You can see where I've taken the samples. In Logic, you just put the samples on one track and then drag them down into a sampler track. Okay, this is nice. If we come into this, then we had some black hole. How cool is that? And again, play your filters and stuff inside your sampler. And then a bit more release. Again, they're all slightly different on every key. That one's much more raspy. Loads of fun to be had in here. Here's a couple more that I've just thrown into the quick sampler. So a single sample, you can see how long these samples are. Let's drop this down a couple of octaves again. So we're getting an interval here, using the resonance. Let's increase that release. Lovely, and then house organ. And again, you can see how long these samples are. If we just load this in to there. We're not touching the sides, there are we? But you can play it polyphonically as well if you want. Just different tones. So we're getting different tones than you might get on other things. Nice little flavour. So that's it. I've not played all the samples I've got in here. What else have I got? Just bring some of the other samples in. Have a listen. These are some nice long sweeps. You get the idea. Some long sweeps. So hopefully that gives you a good overview of what's in here. I've got to say, I really do like these raw tones and these little bass tones as well. Yeah, so enjoy.